Now, Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition, Andrew Whitfield, is part of a delegation led by Deputy President Paul Mashatile, paying a working visit to the UK and Ireland. The engagements give all parties involved the opportunity to explore new avenues for collaboration amidst the backdrop of evolving global economic conditions. Deputy Minister Whitfield joins us now. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. We know as the Deputy President is in London to woo investors, as he reiterated the government's commitment to building an inclusive economy. What is the investment sentiment on the ground as you try and bring something tangible back home?
Well, thank you very much for having me. The investment sentiment here in London is extremely positive. There's been incredible sentiment, positive sentiment towards the GNU and the work that we're doing, and the Deputy President has set out very clearly what the statement of intent entails, what the process was to establish a government, and all of that has engendered a tremendous amount of positive spirit around South Africa. There has been a lot of interest around some of our key infrastructure projects, obviously an appreciation of the constrained fiscal environment in which we're operating. And we've met not just with investors, but other partners. We've met with the South African UK Chamber of Commerce, and we're looking at ways to expand trade into the United Kingdom. So I've met with my counterparts here in trade and agriculture to look at market access opportunities for agricultural products out of South Africa into the UK. So it's been a busy week, positive energy, and very positive feedback from banks to government to business.
I would imagine that potential investors would want to see how South Africa has essentially evolved over the years as they assess the potential in the country. How have you positioned the country?
Well, as I said, the Deputy President has set out very well that the GNU is 100 days in business. That sentiment remains positive, but that it's not just sentiment that we're trading on. We actually have plans in place, that there's continuity in terms of some of the structural reforms that investors are concerned about, such as energy, ports, logistics, and those sorts of the issues. The issues around crime were also raised, but some positive sentiment around some of the moves the new minister in that department is making. One of the critical issues is messages we've been bringing to the United Kingdom is around the fact that we are stabilizing our energy grid. We've had almost 200 days without load shedding. This has been a very positive indication of the fact that what we've said in the past, we've put plans in action, and we're now seeing the results. We've also made it very clear that we have the medium-term budget policy statement on the 30th of October that everybody is going to be looking at very closely, but also the medium-term development plan, which is currently being put together to give expression to the Government of National Unity's statement of intent and to put plans in place in order for us to deliver on some of the promises that we've made.
You make mention of job creation, and of course, one cannot, you make mention of stabilizing the energy grid, and that, of course, goes very well with opportunities when it comes to employment. What are the conversations around that when it comes to growing the workforce and creating those opportunities here in South Africa?
Well, it's extraordinarily exciting. We have 14,000 kilometers of transmission lines that we need to get up and running. We have an incredible opportunity from a Department of Trade, Industry and Competition perspective. We are looking at developing business value chains. We've in fact been developing, and those have been developed in the green energy space. We're looking at giving opportunities to investors to invest in some of the infrastructure where we need that investment to drive growth in South Africa. That is going to create opportunities for small and medium-sized businesses in South Africa. It's going to allow them to grow in order to create jobs. And we see this investment mission this week in the United Kingdom as an opportunity to attract foreign direct investment that can catalyze and stimulate a small business growth in South Africa, where we believe the future of job creation resides.
Small businesses' role in growing export-led businesses, of course, that in itself is a conversation that expands into many other tiers when you talk about opportunities in the green space and, of course, access to those opportunities for small business in South Africa. What strategies need to be implemented on that end?
Well, we're very proud of the work we do in the department. We've got the Export Marketing and Investment Assistance Program. We've met with some of the beneficiaries of that program here in the United Kingdom this week, who are South African entrepreneurs who've been brought out here by ABSA to be part of this Investment SA Week, to showcase them to the world and to give them those opportunities. The Department of Trade, Industry and Competition also provides support in terms of market entry strategies for SMEs who we believe are scalable, who should be export ready. We provide that support to make sure that they are export ready and that they can get their goods to market. On the trade side, we're obviously opening up opportunities for small and medium-sized enterprises to export into markets, well-established markets like the United Kingdom, where trade is not where we would like it to be. We believe there's more scope on the trade front. And so the DTIC is hard at work in opening up new markets, strengthening our ties where we have established markets, improving market access, and then back home providing the developmental support to SMEs to ensure that they can make sure that they are export ready to get into those markets and to make sure that they can grow their businesses to create jobs, which is really the export or the apex priority, not just of the department, but of the Government of National Unity.
As you go out seeking these collaborative deals, what would you say are some of the pressing challenges or perhaps the big questions that are still being posed on the viability of these discussions?
Well, some of the challenges that have been raised here in the United Kingdom range from crime in South Africa, range to the stability of the Government of National Unity. We have managed to allay fears. The Government of National Unity is hard at work, that we are stable, that we are a going concern, and there's tremendous positive sentiment around that. I think that the investors and businesses and the government here in the United Kingdom is interested in what we're going to be doing for the next 100 days, now that we've made it through the first 100 days. And that is why those key milestones, such as the medium-term development plan, the medium-term budget policy statement, are such critical mile markers on this journey for this new government. And so there has been extraordinary positive sentiment, but obviously there are some concerns around the binding constraints that remain in terms of logistics, ports, etc. And we have been driving that message very hard, that this presents an opportunity to the United Kingdom and to the investors abroad to provide support financially to make sure that we get that infrastructure up and going, we can unlock growth and create jobs.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us there. Of course, Deputy Minister Whitfield giving us a sense of some of the discussions that are taking place in London to woo investors.